In life, the quality of our sleep is as important as the quality of our thoughts. Many seniors struggle through the night, waking up often, unable to rest deeply. But what if the answer is not more medicine, not more worry, but a simple shift, a mindful change in what you drink before bed? Instead of reaching for plain water, there is a natural calming alternative that can guide the body into instant deep sleep. Tonight, I will share this with you. Not just a drink, but a practice for peace and rest. The common struggle that many seniors face at night is not something hidden or rare. It is a quiet companion that follows them as they lie down in bed, seeking rest but finding only interruption. For some, the body feels heavy, tired, yet the mind remains restless, moving like the wind that refuses to settle. For others, sleep does come, but like a fragile flame, it flickers and fades, disturbed again and again by waking, by discomfort, or by the urgent call to rise from bed when the body demands it. What was meant to be a time of recovery, a time of renewal, becomes instead a battle between exhaustion and wakefulness. As age increases, the pattern of sleep often changes. In youth, one can close their eyes, drift away, and awaken refreshed, as if nature itself carried them through the night. But in later years, the rhythms shift. The body produces less melatonin, the natural hormone that guides us into sleep. The muscles may ache, the joints may remind us of the years we have lived. Even the bladder becomes less forgiving, calling for attention at the very moments when rest is most needed. And so instead of 8 hours of peaceful rest, the night becomes broken into fragments. 2 hours here, an interruption there, another attempt to rest, but never the deep, nourishing sleep that restores both body and mind. This is not just an inconvenience, it is something that touches every part of life. When sleep is light and broken, the mornings feel heavy. Energy is missing. The clarity of thought is reduced and emotions become more fragile. Even the immune system weakens, because true restoration only comes in those deeper stages of sleep. Imagine the body as a garden. In the daytime, you work, you move, you engage with the world, but at night, the garden requires stillness so that the roots can grow strong, the soil can regenerate, and the flowers can bloom again. Without this stillness, the garden of the body begins to lose its vitality. And so seniors often find themselves caught in a cycle. They feel tired during the day, and because of this tiredness, they may rest or nap. But then, at night, sleep becomes elusive, or perhaps they drink too much water in the evening because they want to remain hydrated and healthy. Yet this simple act pulls them out of bed again and again, making true rest impossible. This is not a matter of weakness. It is not a failure of the individual. It is simply the nature of the body as it ages. To resist it with frustration only creates more restlessness. To accept it with awareness, however, opens the possibility for gentle solutions. Consider this. Sleep is not only a physical act. It is also deeply connected with the mind and the spirit. If the mind remains unsettled, turning over worries about the past, concerns about the present, or fears of the future, then the body cannot relax fully. This is why many seniors find themselves waking in the middle of the night and immediately thinking of tasks undone, memories unresolved, or even the fear of not being able to return to sleep. This mental activity feeds the body with tension. Instead of peace, the heart beats faster. Instead of rest, the breast becomes shallow, and in this way sleep escapes. But there is a teaching here. The teaching is that rest does not come only from closing the eyes. It comes from cultivating the conditions for peace. Just as a seed cannot grow in hard, dry soil, sleep cannot grow in a restless mind or in a body that is pulled in many directions. Seniors therefore must approach sleep not as something to chase, but as something to invite. When the night arrives, ask yourself, what conditions am I creating for my body and mind? Am I preparing a space of calm, Or am I carrying the noise of the day into my bed? Am I drinking what disturbs my rest or what supports it? Am I breathing deeply or am I holding on to the shallow breath of stress? By reflecting in this way, the nightly struggle becomes not just a problem but also a practice in awareness, acceptance, and gentle change. It is important to understand that waking in the night does not mean you are broken. It means your body is asking for attention. Instead of responding with anger or fear, respond with compassion. Adjust your evening habits. Learn to breathe in a way that signals calmness to your nervous system. Learn to let go of thoughts that do not serve you at that moment. And most of all, recognize that the struggle you face is shared by many. You are not alone in this. Across the world, countless seniors rise from their beds in the darkness, walking the same path of searching for rest. There is wisdom in this shared struggle. It teaches patience. It teaches humility. It teaches us that the body, though strong, is also fragile, and that caring for it requires more than discipline. It requires kindness. When you begin to approach your sleep with this gentle awareness, the interruptions no longer feel like enemies. They feel like signals, guiding you toward a deeper understanding of your body's needs. So, the common struggle of seniors who cannot sleep through the night is not merely about sleep. It is about life itself. It is about learning to listen to the body with acceptance. It is about adapting with wisdom instead of resisting with frustration. And it is about remembering that rest is not only found in long, unbroken hours, but also in the quality of the moments when the body and mind are truly at peace. This is where the path begins. This is where solutions become possible. And this is where transformation takes root, not in chasing sleep, but in preparing for it, inviting it and allowing it to come naturally, like the sun rising after the longest night. We are often told that water is life, that hydration is essential for health, and this is true. Water cleanses the body, refreshes the organs, and carries energy to every cell. Without it, we cannot live. But as with all things in life, there is a right time and a right measure. Too much of even a good thing, taken at the wrong time, may disturb the balance we are seeking. This is especially true at night, when the body's purpose is not to digest, not to move, not to be active, but to rest, to restore, and to prepare for a new day. For many seniors, drinking plain water before bed feels like the right choice. After all, throughout the day, doctors, family, and even their own habits remind them stay hydrated. And so in the evening they take 1 or 2 glasses of water before lying down, believing it will keep them healthy and nourished during the long hours of sleep. But what often follows is not peaceful rest. Instead, it is interruption. 1 hour passes and the body signals the bladder. 2 hours later, it signals again. And so the night is broken, not by the inability to sleep, but by the constant need to rise, to walk, to empty, and to return again to the bed. This cycle may seem small, but in truth, it carries a deep impact. Sleep is like a river. It flows in stages: light sleep, deeper sleep, and finally the most restorative state, when the body repairs tissues, balances hormones, and strengthens memory. But when you are pulled out of this river again and again, you are forced to start over. The body cannot reach those deeper waters of rest. And so even if you slept many hours, the quality of that sleep is fragile, incomplete. You awaken feeling as though you never truly rested. Think of it like climbing a mountain. Each stage of sleep is like reaching a new level of height. The base is light sleep, the middle is where the air feels clearer, the body feels lighter. The summit is deep sleep, where the view is wide and the spirit is renewed. But if you are pulled back down every time you make progress, you never reach the summit. The effort is wasted and the reward remains out of reach. Drinking plain water before bed creates this very cycle for many seniors. The body changes as it ages. The kidneys process fluids differently, and the bladder loses some of its capacity to hold for long hours. Even small amounts of water in the evening can create repeated awakenings. What seems harmless in use becomes disruptive in later years. And this disruption is not only about lost sleep, it also carries risks. Rising in the middle of the night, especially in darkness, increases the chance of falls, injuries, and disorientation. For seniors, this is no small matter. What was meant to be a simple act of health, hydration, can silently become a cause of exhaustion and even danger. But here lies the wisdom. The goal is not to reject water, but to understand when it serves you best. In the daytime, when the body is active, when energy is being used and replenished, water is your companion. Drink generously and let it refresh you. But in the evening, when the sun has set and the body prepares for stillness, reduce your intake. Give your organs permission to rest. Allow the bladder to remain silent so that your journey through sleep is uninterrupted. This does not mean you must deny yourself if you are thirsty before bed. Thirst is a signal, and it must be respected, but instead of a full glass of water, take only a few sips, just enough to ease the dryness of the mouth. And more importantly, examine why you are thirsty at night. Often it is not because the body truly lacks water, but because of salty foods, heavy dinners, or habits of late snacking. By adjusting these during the day, you find that the night brings less thirst and therefore less need to drink. Another layer of wisdom is found in replacing plain water with drinks that serve both hydration and relaxation. While water may disturb sleep by encouraging the bladder to act, certain calming beverages can both quench thirst and soothe the nervous system. Warm herbal teas, gentle milk tonics, or natural infusions can prepare the body for sleep rather than disturb it. They do not demand frequent awakenings, but instead guide you into deeper rest. The act of drinking itself, when done mindfully, becomes a ritual, a signal to the mind that the day is closing, that stillness is approaching, and that rest is near. So, the lesson is not that water is bad, but that timing is everything. Just as you would not plant seeds in the winter or harvest in the spring, you must not overload the body with water at the hour of rest. The rhythm of nature shows us this truth. The rivers do not rush in the night. They move most strongly under the sun. The flowers do not bloom in darkness. They close waiting for light. In the same way, your body thrives when its actions follow the rhythm of day and night. Drink by day, rest by night. And as you recognize this truth, you may begin to feel a deeper sense of harmony with your body. You no longer fight against it. You no longer struggle with confusion about why sleep is broken. Instead, you see clearly by changing this one habit. By choosing awareness over routine, you create the conditions for uninterrupted rest. You protect your body not only from exhaustion, but also from the risks that come with nightly awakenings. In this way, the wisdom of not drinking plain water before bed is not about restriction. It is about liberation. The freedom to experience the full depths of sleep, the freedom to awaken with energy and clarity, the freedom to feel safe and at peace during the night. For seniors, this simple understanding can be transformative. It is not medicine. It is not a complicated solution. It is simply the right action at the right time. And so, when the evening comes, remember, your body does not need more water. It needs more peace. Give it the gift of stillness, and it will reward you with the kind of rest that no amount of water can provide. When you remove one habit, it is wise to replace it with another. The mind and body are not empty spaces. If you take something away and leave nothing in its place, the old pattern will return. This is why when we choose to drink less plain water at night, we must also choose a calming alternative, something that not only prevents interruption, but also encourages the body to move into a state of rest. The calming alternative is more than a drink. It is an invitation to slow down. Imagine the end of the day when the world outside grows quiet, the streets are less busy, the sun has left the sky, and the body too wishes to soften. At this moment, what you place into yourself matters. It can either disturb the silence or it can deepen it. A calming drink has the power to become part of this silence, guiding you gently into sleep. For centuries, cultures around the world have turned to nature for such support. Herbal teas are among the simplest and most effective. Chamomile, with its delicate flowers, carries a natural ability to calm the nervous system. It is gentle enough to be taken daily, yet powerful enough to ease a restless mind. Valerian root, though stronger in taste, works on the body by quieting tension, reducing the urge of the muscles to remain alert. Lavender, with its fragrance, is not only pleasing to the senses, but also signals the brain to release the weight of the day. Each of these plants grows quietly rooted in the earth, and each shares its medicine with us when we invite it into our evening. But the calming alternative does not always need to be herbal. Warm milk, used for generations as a night drink, contains tryptophan, a substance that naturally supports the production of melatonin, the sleep hormone. Its warmth soothes the stomach, its creaminess comforts the spirit, and together they bring a sense of safety, like being held gently by life itself. When taken slowly, with mindful awareness, even this simple drink becomes a practice, a way of telling the body, now you may rest. Some seniors may also find benefit in magnesium-rich drinks, such as warm cocoa made from pure, unsweetened cacao. Magnesium relaxes the muscles and calms the nervous system. The bitterness of cacao, when taken without excess sugar, is grounding. It reminds us that nature provides balance, not always through sweetness, but often through strength. To drink such a blend is not only to support sleep, but also to reconnect with the earth's deeper gifts. What is most important is not only the substance of the drink, but the way it is taken. To prepare a calming alternative should be a ritual, not a habit done without thought. When you boil the water, let the sound remind you of the day coming to its end. When you pour the liquid into a cup, notice the steam rising, as if your own restless thoughts are lifting away. When you hold the cup, feel the warmth against your hands, as if energy itself is softening your body. And when you drink, do so slowly, letting each sip guide you further inward, closer to stillness. In this way, the calming alternative becomes more than hydration. It becomes meditation. It becomes a signal to your entire being. The time of doing is finished. The time of being has begun. This small ritual, repeated night after night, creates a rhythm, and with rhythm comes trust. The body learns to associate the drink with rest, just as it learns to associate the rising sun with waking. Soon, the act itself becomes enough to prepare the mind for sleep. It is also wise to remember that the calming alternative should not overstimulate. Avoid drinks with caffeine, even in small amounts. Coffee, black tea, and even green tea may seem comforting, but they carry energy that belongs to the day, not to the night. Sugar too should be avoided, for it excites the body and leaves the mind restless. The goal is not pleasure for the tongue alone, but peace for the entire system. Choose drinks that settle, that ground, that invite you inward. The calming alternative is not limited to what you drink, it is also about how you drink. If you sit in silence, with the lights dimmed, with your breath deep, and even the drink becomes part of an entire environment of rest. But if you drink while scrolling through devices, with noise and distraction around you, the effect is weakened. Remember, The body responds not only to what enters the stomach, but also to the signals of the senses. To create stillness outside is to allow stillness inside. And so, the calming alternative is both practical and symbolic. Practically, it replaces plain water that interrupts sleep with something that supports rest. Symbolically, it teaches us that life is about choices, about replacing what does not serve us with what brings harmony. Seniors often believe that their patterns cannot change, that waking at night is simply part of aging. But in truth, even small adjustments carry great power. To change one drink in the evening is to change the entire night. To change the night is to change the day that follows. And to change many days is to change the quality of life itself. When you hold the cup of your calming alternative, do not think of it only as a drink. Think of it as a bridge from the busy world of the day to the quiet landscape of the night. Cross this bridge slowly. Leave behind the weight you carry. Step onto the other side lighter, calmer, ready to let go. The calming alternative is not magic. It does not force sleep. Instead, it prepares the soil. Sleep is the seed that grows when the soil is soft, nourished, and cared for. By choosing the right drink at the right time in the right way, you cultivate this soil. Then sleep arrives naturally, not as something chased, but as something allowed. And this is the lesson in life. The alternatives we choose matter. To replace what disturbs us with what restores us is a practice not only for sleep but for every part of existence. In choosing a calming alternative, you are not only improving your night, you are learning the art of alignment, the art of living in harmony with both body and mind. There are moments in life when the body longs not for activity, not for thought, but for rest that is complete. Rest that is deep, rest that reaches into every muscle, every joint, every cell, and allows renewal to take place. This is what we call deep sleep. Without it, we may lie in bed for hours yet still awaken with a heavy body and a tired mind. With it, even a shorter night feels refreshing, as if the whole being has been cleansed and made new. But for many seniors, deep sleep seems distant, almost unreachable. They may drift into light sleep, but it is fragile, easily broken by noise, by discomfort, or by the urge to rise. They awaken in the middle of the night, only to find themselves unable to return to rest. This struggle is not just about sleep, it is about health, about energy, about the very ability to live fully during the day. Deep sleep is the stage when the body repairs itself. The muscles release their tension, the immune system strengthens, the heart rate slows, and the mind processes the countless impressions gathered during the day. Without it, the body is left unfinished, like a house where the work was started but never completed. To live many nights without deep sleep is to carry unfinished repair, unfinished renewal, unfinished healing. And so the question arises, how can we support the body to enter this stage more easily, more naturally, more instantly? One answer lies in nature itself. There are foods and drinks that contain elements which whisper to the body, it is safe to let go. Warm herbal teas, especially those with chamomile, lavender, or passion flower, carry compounds that calm the nervous system. They do not force sleep, but invite it. They signal to the brain that the time of activity has ended when taken slowly. In the quiet of evening, they create conditions for deep sleep to appear. Another source of support comes from minerals. Magnesium, for example, is known as the relaxation mineral. It helps muscles release tension, helps the nervous system quiet its signals, and helps the mind feel less restless. Many seniors are low in magnesium without realizing it, and this deficiency shows itself in restless legs, in difficulty falling asleep, in waking too often. To include magnesium-rich foods in the diet, like leafy greens, seeds, or even a gentle supplement, can be like giving the body the missing key it has been searching for. Once the key is found, the door to deep sleep opens more easily. Warm milk too remains one of the oldest and most natural sleep supporters. It contains tryptophan, which helps the body produce melatonin, the hormone that guides us into sleep. But more than the chemical effect, the warmth of milk is comforting. It touches not only the stomach, but the heart. It reminds the body of safety, of nourishment, of being cared for. And it is often this feeling of safety that allows the body to surrender fully into rest. Even small practices can make a great difference. Breathing deeply before sleep, for example, slows the heart, quiets the mind, and prepares the body for deep rest. When combined with a calming drink, the effect is multiplied. The breath tells the nervous system to let go, and the drink supports the body to follow. Together, they create an environment where deep sleep arrives almost instantly. But it is important to remember, deep sleep cannot be forced. The more you chase it, the further it runs. The secret is to prepare the soil, to create the right conditions, and then allow the seed of sleep to grow by itself. The calming drink, the minerals, the breathing practice, all of these are tools. But the true rest comes when you stop struggling, when you surrender, when you allow yourself to simply be. For seniors, this practice is especially valuable. Many carry worries about health, about family, about the future. These worries, when taken into bed, act like weights, keeping the mind restless. But when you create an evening ritual that includes a calming drink and a few minutes of mindful breathing, you send a message to yourself. The day is finished. The night is for rest. Tomorrow will carry its own answers. This message, repeated again and again, becomes a habit. And with habit comes trust. The body learns, the mind learns, and soon deep sleep becomes natural again. There is also wisdom in the idea of rhythm. The body thrives on rhythm, waking and sleeping at the same times, eating and moving in harmony with the cycles of the day. When seniors allow their evenings to become irregular, sometimes eating late, sometimes watching television until midnight, sometimes drinking too much water or stimulating drinks, the body becomes confused. It no longer knows when to rest. But when you create a rhythm, when you keep to a gentle pattern, the body recognizes the signal. Just as the sun rises and sets without confusion, your body too will enter deep sleep without struggle. So, instant deep sleep support is not a single solution. It is a combination of choices, repeated with awareness. Choose the right drink, one that calms rather than disturbs. Choose foods and minerals that support relaxation. Choose breathing over worry, silence over noise, stillness over stimulation, and most of all, choose trust. Trust that the body knows how to sleep, that your task is only to prepare the way. When you do this, sleep arrives not as a fight, not as something you must win, but as a natural gift. You close your eyes, your body feels heavy, your breath slows, and almost instantly you find yourself sinking into the deeper waters of rest. And in those waters, the body heals, the mind clears, and the spirit renews itself. This is the gift of deep sleep. This is the gift that life offers, if only we create the right conditions to receive it. So the invitation is simple. Before you go to bed tonight, ask yourself, am I preparing for rest or am I disturbing it? Then choose wisely. Drink what calms, breathe what soothes, trust what supports, and let the night carry you, not into fragments of sleep, but into the wholeness of deep rest. The way we end our day shapes the way we enter our night. Just as a musician tunes the instrument before playing, we too must tune our body and mind before sleep. Many people go to bed expecting rest to arrive instantly, as if it were a switch that can be turned on or off. But sleep is not a machine. It is a process, a gentle unfolding. And the way to support this unfolding is through ritual, small, mindful actions that guide the body and mind into harmony with the night. For seniors, this ritual becomes even more important. The body no longer functions as it once did in youth. It needs more preparation, more kindness, more signals that it is time to rest. Without these signals, the nervous system remains alert. The thoughts remain active and the night becomes another struggle. But when you practice a mindful evening ritual, the body learns to release tension and the mind learns to quiet itself. Sleep then comes not through force, but through invitation. A mindful ritual begins with awareness. Notice how you spend the last hour of your day. Are you surrounded by noise, by bright screens, by restless activity? Or do you create a space of stillness, of dim light, of calm? The environment around you communicates directly to your body. Bright light tells the brain it is still daytime. Loud sounds keep the nervous system alert. But soft light, gentle silence, and slower movements signal the body that the day has ended. By shaping your environment, you are shaping your inner state. One simple ritual is to prepare a calming drink. This is not only about what you consume, but also about how you prepare it. When you boil water, listen to the sound. When you pour it into a cup, notice the steam rising. When you hold the cup, feel the warmth in your hands. And when you sip, do so slowly, with full attention. This small act of drinking becomes more than hydration. It becomes meditation. Each step is a signal to your body. Now is the time to let go. Another part of the ritual can be mindful breathing. Even 5 minutes of slow, deep breaths can transform your state. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and place your attention on your breath. Inhale slowly through the nose, allowing the belly to rise. Exhale gently, letting the body soften. With each exhale, release the weight of the day. Let go of unfinished tasks, unresolved thoughts, unspoken worries. Each breath becomes an act of cleansing, of preparing the body and mind for rest. Gentle movement can also be included. For seniors, stretching or light qigong before bed is beneficial. Move slowly without effort, just enough to release tension from the shoulders, the neck, the back. As the body unwinds, the nervous system receives the message that the day's work is finished. Stillness follows naturally after movement, just as the calm sea follows the passing wave. A mindful evening ritual may also include gratitude. Before lying down, reflect on 1 or 2 things you are thankful for from the day. It may be something simple: a conversation, a meal, the warmth of sunlight. Gratitude softens the heart. It shifts the mind from worry to peace. And when you fall asleep with gratitude, the night feels lighter and the morning feels brighter. It is also wise to disconnect from stimulation. In the modern world, many people carry screens into their beds, filling their minds with images, with news, with endless information. But the mind cannot rest when it is overloaded. For seniors, especially, the light from screens and the noise of constant input keep the brain alert long into the night. Replace this habit with something calming, a short reading of inspiring words, gentle music, or simply silence. In silence, the mind learns again what it means to rest. Consistency is the heart of ritual. If you practice these mindful actions only once, the effect is small. But if you repeat them night after night, the body begins to recognize the pattern. Just as a child knows it is bedtime when the lights are dimmed and the storybook is opened, your body too will learn when the tea is brewed, when the breathing begins, when the lights are softened. Sleep is near. This recognition creates trust. Trust allows surrender, and surrender allows deep rest. It is important to remember that a ritual is not about perfection. It is not about doing everything in a strict order or forcing yourself to be calm. It is about intention. Even the smallest act, if done with awareness, carries power. Washing your face slowly, brushing your teeth with mindfulness, placing a glass gently on the table. These are all opportunities to signal the body and mind that the day is complete. Through such rituals, the night transforms. Instead of entering bed with restless energy, you enter with stillness. Instead of fighting for sleep, you invite it. Instead of carrying the weight of the day, you lay it down like a burden no longer needed. And in this way, the night becomes not only a time of physical rest, but also a time of spiritual renewal. The mindful evening ritual teaches a deeper lesson as well. It shows us that life itself is a series of rituals. The way we begin our mornings, the way we eat our meals, the way we interact with others, all of these are rituals that shape our experience. To bring awareness to them is to bring awareness to life itself. And when you learn to close your day with mindfulness, you are practicing the art of living with intention, with harmony, with balance. So, seniors who struggle with restless nights must understand sleep is not only about closing the eyes, it is about preparing the path. Each step of your ritual is like placing a stone on that path, guiding you gently toward the destination of rest. And once the path is clear, sleep arrives naturally, like a guest who feels truly welcomed. The mindful evening ritual is therefore not a burden but a gift you give to yourself every night, a gift of peace, of stillness, of healing. And with each night you practice, you strengthen the body, you calm the mind, and you nourish the spirit. This is how rest becomes complete. This is how life regains its balance.